Ghost sightings are rare to catch and even harder to forget. Let's get into the list of 5 creepy ghost videos. Twitch Ghost. This video was really creepy. A Twitch streamer was living alone on the first floor of his one-bedroom apartment, and everything was fine until one of his viewers pointed out something very strange about the background. The viewer kept asking him if he was living alone or if someone was in the apartment. The streamer initially thought that it was some kind of prank, and that is why he didn't pay much attention to it. However, after the viewer continued to repeat the question multiple times, he grew concerned. He answered very politely that he was indeed living alone, and there was no one else in the apartment except for him. The response that the chat member said next completely shocked him. The message from the chat member read as follows: "Then who switched on the lights in the background?" This alone was enough for the streamer to get chills down his spine. He slowly turned around to see what was going on, and to his surprise, the light was in fact switched on. He swore that it wasn't on when he started the stream, and showed his hands to the camera, saying how he was literally trembling to say the least. There was a hand coming out of the doorway that he didn't see, but the viewers definitely did. Although he left it at that, it wasn't long before he heard a loud bang right outside his door. Everyone who was watching the stream was shocked, and they started dropping messages saying, "No matter what happens, don't go out to look for it." A series of scary events such as this one is enough to scare away a grown man. The streamer was a pretty solid guy and told his viewers he's not ending the stream no matter what. He might have said that because he didn't want to be all by himself at that moment. He streamed for another 3 to 4 hours before the sun came up, and he finally accepted that he was very much afraid and thanked the viewers for staying by his side. A ghost or an intruder? The story again revolves around another Twitch streamer who was having fun playing video games. Everything was seemingly quiet and peaceful until a loud noise. Yeah, that's right. Our streamer, as well as the viewers, hear the noise of something falling down in the background. The streamer then tries to take off his headphones and even asks if someone else is there. But there was no response because apparently ghosts are not into replying. He then stood up from his chair and went away for a while in the direction where the noise came from. After a while, he came back with a sigh of relief, explaining to his viewers how it was nothing more but his handheld vacuum, which apparently slipped and fell to the ground. At that moment, he did brush it off as just a mere coincidence. However, he did make a video later on to provide some more details and his own opinion on the situation. So he went on to show us the handheld vacuum cleaner that had fallen off, and he said that it was sitting in the middle of the steps, so it couldn't have just slipped on its own. Also, in that video, he goes on to tell us about how his camera captured a shadow of someone. He was definitely quite scared by that time, and he then went on to prove that it couldn't have been an intruder. He walked up and down the steps, and we could hear how much noise these creaky steps were making. This is how he debunked the theory of a possible intruder trying to get into his house that ran away after he made the noise. He then went on to tell his viewers that this wasn't the first time he had experienced something like this in this house. He often lets things go because he doesn't really want to find out what's going on, and he says that he's going to continue with that because ghosts are not something he's looking to run into. And then there were 3. So, this video is from a paranormal investigator. He heard an urban legend that there were spirits roaming in Memorial Park. Well, we all know how paranormal investigators are. You put a mystery in front of them, and the first thing that comes to their mind is how can they find an explanation for it. So, this young man picks up his friend, who is also acting as a cameraman for him, to record this video. Now, hold on a second. If you don't want to have these haunted experiences yourself, make sure you're subscribed to our channel, Just Scary, and also to hit the bell icon to stay notified with our future uploads, people. They start out being pretty confident in themselves, with broadened shoulders and confident demeanors. Although soon they start feeling the eeriness around them, and they start panicking slowly. In the beginning, when they entered the park, they had joyful and excited tones. They were examining the statue, making jokes and having fun. Well, that changed real quick when the man turned around and he noticed a sudden movement. Now, before you guys say anything, yes, we know it could have just been an animal, but it wasn't. Yep, these 2 men had no clue what that creature was, which kept shifting its position from one point to another. The camera even picked up its bright glowing eyes. Now that was the scary part, and here comes the fun part. These two men were so terrified that they started acting as if nothing strange was going on at all. Well, that's one way of not becoming prey to some demonic creature. The tapping ghost. This one is not just a video, but a series of multiple videos. So, this famous TikToker has been noticing strange sounds all around her house for quite some time now. Initially, she let it go, thinking it must have been her neighbors doing some repair work or some kind of carpentry, and that the sound would stop eventually. However, it didn't. And when she investigated a bit more, she came to find out that none of her neighbors were doing anything that would make a sound like that. Now, the sound that we're talking about is a set of irregular tappings, and when she paid more attention, she realized that these sounds were coming from her walls. Now, if that's not creepy, we don't know what is. What if someone is trapped in those walls? Or worse, what if there's something supernatural going on in those walls? Well, if we consider the exaggerated theory of her followers, they have commented that her walls could be a gateway to another dimension, and beings from this other dimension were knocking on the wall since it's a door to them, and they want to ask her for permission so that they could cross the passage. Now, we know that that's quite a far-fetched theory, but imagine if you were living in a house and you suddenly started hearing noises coming from your walls at odd hours of the day. Well, that would creep out the bravest of men out there. Well, anyway, the woman is still documenting these ghostly encounters and posting them on TikTok. There are a few who don't believe these videos even for a second, but whether it's true or not, the idea that something like this could happen can become fuel for many nightmares. Remember folks, the next time you're buying a house, make sure to check the walls. Apparently walls don't just have ears, but also the ability to scare you by making tapping noises. Who is with the baby? So, for the final story, we have yet another TikToker who is also a mother. So, she had recently installed a baby monitor on her baby's crib so that she could have some peace of mind. But she would have never expected this in a million years. She took it to TikTok to tell her followers about this very strange phenomenon and how she had no idea what she just saw and how to make it stop. On a Friday morning, when she was checking her baby monitor to see if the baby was getting enough sleep or not, she stumbled upon something that scared her so much she wasn't even able to talk properly for a couple of hours. Yes, folks, she saw an orb. While checking out the video, it did appear a bit unusual to her to spot a beam of light like that. But she soon remembered that all the windows were shut and the curtains were draped in, so there was no way there could have been a light beam at all. The realization made her sweat profusely as she had no clue what she had just seen. And to top it off, she saw that the baby was awake and was playing with a light orb. The orb didn't seem to harm the baby in any way, but it certainly did scare the mother to death. Her followers later commented on the video saying that the orb might have been just the spirit of their ancestors looking over the baby. And that brings us to the ending of today's video. I sure hope you guys liked it, and do make sure to comment down below which was your favorite clip in today's video. Subscribe to our channel Just Scary to keep us motivated to produce such content in the future. Also make sure to check out our other videos on the channel, and I will see you in the next one.